This is definitely our worst nightmare. Imagining Delos in the place of this catamaran gives me the chills. Unfortunately, this wreck is a harsh reality of when a situation goes very bad. But what happens when there's absolutely nothing left you can do to save the yacht? Here are some things we discuss whenever we get new crew on Delos. This is in no way a how-to video, but just a glimpse of the things we consider if Delos were to ever sink beneath us.
Let's say that the worst possible thing happened, and then we decide that we are really, really in trouble. So there's a lot of things that we can do to let other people know where we are. The first thing we have is our VHF radio. So when we turn that on, it's always on 16, and we would go ahead and do a broadcast on channel 16 of like a mayday call. So let's say mayday is like imminent threat to life. So there's like different calls. There's securite, which is like an advisement. There's pan, which is like I'm in trouble, but I'm not gonna die. And then there's like mayday. It's like if nobody helps me out, I'm probably gonna die pretty quick. So this would be that bad situation, the mayday call. A ditch list here. So this is like, okay, the boat is probably gonna sink. These are the steps that we go through to leave the boat. The first one, send out a mayday call. So the VHF has a range of like maybe 20 to 30 nautical miles, depending on the height of our mast and where the other ship is and the height of their mast, or if it's a cargo ship and they have a real good radio or something, which means that they're very close. So if you send out a call and somebody hears you on this, then they can probably be there within, you know, if they can do 20 knots, they're there in like an hour or an hour and a half or something. Right? So if you guys ever operated a radio like this, you're going to get lots of practice because everybody will be using it, but it's pretty easy. There's a button here. It should always be on 16. When we're out, it'll always be on when we're out at sea anyway. And you just put it up, you press the button in. It's also got a 16 here, and then you just push the button in and talk. And the thing about these radios is when you're transmitting, you can't hear. So you have to push the button to talk, let go, and then you basically follow these steps. So the first thing is the mayday call. So, you know, it says, okay, you're going to be freaked out because it's going to be like an emergency, so speak slowly, clearly, and calmly as much as you can. And this is what we want to do. Turn the VHF on, select channel 16, and we'll also turn on the SSB, which is this one, and select channel 2182. So we turn that on, and this one has a button too. Okay, see how it says 2182 frequency? And it's written here, SSB 2182. So we do the VHF first, and we push the button and say mayday, mayday, mayday. And then say this is Delos, WDE 9200, and then you can repeat Whiskey Delta Echo 90200, and that's our call sign that you can look up, and they'll know who we are, who the ship's registry is, like the size, the color, sailing catch, all that sort of things. So you repeat that 3 times, and then you say it again, mayday, Delos, and then we want to say where we are. Like, obviously, if we have a GPS position, that's best, but you could also say, like, we left Thailand 2 days ago from Phuket, and we're sailing to the Andamans. Okay? They know that, you know, we're a sailboat, we're probably doing 6 knots. They know the course to the Andamans. We're trying to narrow down the area. But we'll have GPS position from, you know, the navigation system. There's another GPS here. You can also turn this on. After it warms up, you'll get GPS position right there, and you can give them that. So tell where you are, navigational aids, landmarks, any other boats that you see nearby. If you see an island, you'll probably know what island is. Say, okay, we're north of blah, blah, blah island, like 2 miles, we have it in sight. All that stuff's helpful. The nature of the distress, like did we hit a whale? Did we hit a wave? Like is the boat on fire? Are we abandoning ship? Or, you know, what's going on? Describe the boat, 53-foot sailing catch, white hull with brown trim. It's a pretty good description. You're given the size, the color, the number of masts, which really help people from a distance. It's very important to have the number of people on board. If we're going to get rescued, they want to know, you can just say 7 POB, 7 persons on board, or you can say 7 souls or something like that. They'll get that. Any other information that might facilitate rescue, like, Max is injured, he has a broken arm because the mast fell down and it broke his arm. So then they'll know, like, okay, now we have an injury to deal with, we have to respond to that. Anything that's helpful. And then you say, this is Delos, over. So you're just kind of saying all this stuff. And then you pause, release the microphone button and listen, and hope somebody answers you. If somebody answers you, then they'll start confirming information. If they don't answer you, then you're going to have to repeat it. So if they do not repeat the call, start at item 2 above. And so we probably do this 3 times on the VHF, and then we do exactly the same thing on the SSB. So the thing about the SSB is it goes for a long way. So this is 20 to 30 miles, but this guy is going to be like hundreds or maybe thousands of miles depending on the conditions. So if you get through on somebody, they might answer you, but then they're like, okay, it's like we might need to launch an airplane or a helicopter, or they might talk to a ship who's a few hundred miles away. This is a long time, right?
It's gonna be somebody in Ohio sitting in there.
Yeah.
Their ham radio den.
So let's hope it doesn't come to that, but this is just kind of step 1, right? So we just sent out our mayday call. This microphone acts works exactly the same as that one. Press it in to talk. Okay, so the next thing is the EPIRB. So it stands for, and this is a little bit of an antiquated technology now with some of the other stuff we have, but we do it anyway because redundancy is good. But it stands for Emergency Position Indicating Radio Beacon. This sends a signal to the satellites. It's registered to us, so when you turn this on, they know it's Delos. They know, they have contact information, they have emergency information on us, and then they would call the nearest Coast Guard. But since we're in the middle of the Indian Ocean, there's no Coast Guard. There's nobody. And this is really, if you're close to New Zealand or Australia or America or something, then it's great. But probably what they'd do is try and route like a cargo ship or something to help you out. But this would go with us in the life raft, or the dinghy, or if the boat's sinking, then we'd activate this and set it out in the cockpit. You tie the lanyard to something so it doesn't float away. That's pretty easy to use. The next step is we remove the life raft from, there's probably another step we should put in here now because we have this. So this is the new sat phone, and it's got a handy little SOS button on the side. So the benefits of this over this are that it can take a few satellite passes to get your position on this, because this particular model doesn't send out GPS. Whereas this will send a satellite message right away with our name and our coordinates and everything. So
use that one first.
We'll probably do both of these at the same time. Okay, so we go out to the cockpit locker. We'd remove the life raft, and we would just set it in the cockpit, just right in the middle. It's got a cord on the side of it, so you just tie it to the rail or the chair with a bowline or something. So the life raft is actually right here. It's in this white container. And I think I'd really prefer to be in the dinghy rather than the life raft, because
we bring the life raft in the dinghy with us.
Bring the life raft in the dinghy. We have spare water here that would go with us in the life raft. The next thing we do is we grab the waterproof ditch box, which is this right here. Okay, so this is kind of like our ditch box. So in it we have a flare gun. It's a parachute flare or die. We've got another sat phone. We've got lights. We've got air horn. We've got hand flares. We've got smoke canisters. So all sorts of stuff to help other people find us. If somebody's a plane we see flying around, we pop one of these. We'd probably also grab like one of the handheld VHFs. We have VHF radio here. Just chuck it in there. That way we'd be able to call a boat.
And the Go as well has GPS.
Yeah. So we'll definitely know where we are.
And you can make phone. I mean, you could make phone calls from that thing.
Yeah.
You just basically
Hey,
call
Mom!
somebody.
With this, I mean, you could text message somebody if we brought our smartphones with us. So maybe we'd throw a smartphone in here or whatever. So the next thing is, remember those water containers I showed you outside?
Yeah.
Right next to the life raft, we'd take, the life raft has water in it, but we'd take extra water. Next thing, grab food and provision as time allows. So like, let's say that, you know, it's not very often that a boat sinks.
Isabella, you.
You usually have more time than you think, unless it's like a catastrophe where we get rammed by a cargo ship and the boat gets ripped in half or something like that. Then we'll have to act pretty quickly. But otherwise, we should have time to get food. We'd grab those white tarps up there for sunshade. We'd probably take the dinghy and tie the life raft to it, because it just gives us a lot more options. We take flares, we take food, canned food, extra water, everything we could, just put it in there. And the number one thing is we never place the life raft in the water under any circumstances until the boat deck is awash. Because if you look back at like what's happened to most people who abandon ship, they find their boat floating like a few days later, but they never find the people. Because the life raft is like tiny, you're a tiny little speck on an ocean, whereas this is the best life raft we have, is the boat. So like we'd put it in the cockpit, and then as soon as the water starts to come up over the rail, then we'd throw it over, auto inflate, we'd get in it and we'd go. So you kind of always want to, or maybe we'd throw it over a little bit before, but we'd literally stay on the boat until it sinks under us. That's what that means, until the boat deck is awash. And then the cord is meant to, we have a knife in the life raft that's right by the cord. You can either cut it, it's also meant to part if the weight starts to pull the raft down. The cord is meant to part before it sinks the life raft. So does anybody have any questions about that stuff?
No, it's
Can
good.
you just point out the emergency button again for the SSB?
Yeah, the 2182 right here.
Okay.
So you click the power button.
Yeah, you just turn it on,
And then that one.
and then you just hit that one. Should be on there. It should say emergency right there.
Okay.
And is there any particular way you guys read the GPS coordinates?
Yeah, you'd say like, so 7 degrees, 46 decimal 57 north, you'd say.
Okay.
Because the third one is so accurate, it doesn't really help anybody. You just round it up, or you just round the third digit. So it'd be 7 degrees, 46 decimal 57 north, 98 degrees, 18 decimal 06 east. Would be the position.
Cool. You explained that pretty well.
Alright, so we've got a bucket of expired flares here, like really expired. This one was manufactured in the year 2000 and expired 2003, so like 12 years ago. And we're gonna have some fun today by setting them off on the beach, on the wreck, and also by lighting our barbecue fire with it. Let's see how we go.
Drink some Chang.
Gonna have some fun
Right.
today, guys.
Step
Safety drills, mate. Safety drills.
1, point downwind and outboard. Pull handle base downwards. Twist handle until stopped and aligned. Mark, strike base of handle.
Well, the boat's going down. Come
Sharply
on, let's
with
do
palm
this.
on hard surface. Okay, so you kind of go like this.
Downwind.
Go like that.
I'm gonna back away a little bit.
The boat's sinking, bro.
Holy shitballs!
No, we're good.
Hey! Woohoo!
So this is Para Red Rocket. Like a dog penis. Red Rocket. Long range red parachute distress signal for day or night use. Used on the ship's bridge, in small craft, lifeboats, and inflatable life rafts. Up to 30 miles of visibility. Flare ejected at 300 meters. Burns for 40 seconds at 30,000 candle power minimum.
Whoa, 300 meters.
Might. Alright, so we see a
Boat sinking, bro.
boat sinking. We
Read those
we
directions.
see a boat. Can remove the cap. Remove bottom cap.
Fuck, that one is good. I don't know where to stand. Where do I stand?
Stand there.
Hold signal firmly, ready to fire. Aim downwind. Fire vertically. Push trigger level upwards.
Don't point to Delos.
Stop
There you
pointing
go.
at me, I'm here!
Oh no. I don't even see that. I think it's not burning because it's expired.
Jesus, it was so loud.
Holy balls.
I think I shook the camera so bad.
Scared the shit out of me.
Okay.
So let's say we're stranded on this island.
And we see a boat
Like Delos.
3 miles. Holy it's a boat. Okay. Pull handle to release.
Don't point it towards me, please.
Okay, watch what you gotta do now. Do that, pull it back.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
twist it that way.
And
Now
then we gotta
go.
push.
Bam.
Okay, you ready?
Ready?
60 seconds.
Don't drop
of
it.
orange.
Bam it.
Bam it. No, hit
Bam it. There you go.
Help! Help us!
Colour.
Dance around like a fairy.
It's a really cool
There you
colour.
go. Now they'll come get you.
Oh, you still spilled your wine.
We have a red hand flare. So you have to point downwind and pull the long ribbed handle, and then you align the arrows, and then you dunk, and then it.
Alright. You don't have to take the cap off?
No, it doesn't say anything about that.
Alright. Check the potty, mate.
You gotta get her face.
Okay, we ready?
Business.
That one's gonna be red. I'm kind of scared about this one. Just push it, Yosh. Pop, lock, and drop it. Woo! Woo! Oh, help! Help! Holy shit! Look at that thing.
Okay.
Make sure you're pointing it up
Remove that one.
and point it.
And then I push it that way, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shoot it from here. Not on Delos.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Ready? Yeah.
Okay.
Hold it.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, woohoo!
And then what popped?
Yeah, do you see it there?
I don't see it.
You see, it's right there. Yeah, right there.
Can you see it through the camera?
I don't think so. It's a tiny top.
We are the French rock band.
Hello, girls, come rescue us!
Do you think we should go rescue them?
No.
Ah!